Hello, welcome back to the Crave Show with Chris and JRuss. We've got another week here, another episode for you guys. JRuss, how's it going?
It's good, man. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, doing good. What's been going on with you, man?
Kind of getting to the end of the season at Scottish Chicago. This is our last week. Steph is on her way to the airport right now to pick up two of our teammates, Andy and Ace, and then Colin's driving in the morning. Uh,
And you
so
guys have nationals coming up?
yeah, Nationals is next month. Next month? What month is it?
This is October.
October. So um, let's see on the calendar. VFS Nationals is 24th, 25th, 26th. I think, yeah. So Steph and I are working a military contract uh, for that whole time. Well, we're off for the weekend, but on the 24th, we're working. So we're trying to work with the meet director to kind of figure out how we can do our thing on Friday because we're supposed to be working with military guys, and then but it looks like we're gonna have to like just miss out on work.
Yeah.
They're not. it's it's always funny to me the way the USPA works because the response was, well, we don't want to play favorites for anybody, so you guys can take zeros for your rounds if you want. Um, but then, USPA board approves like literally rewriting the rules so that airspeed can have a foreign member on their team competing. Literally change the rules just for airspeed. Um,
But they
but
don't want to they don't want to favor anybody.
but no favoritism allowed. And I really like Allison. He's the new guy, the Brazilian guy on airspeed. He's great, but it's just a funny uh, hypocrisy, I guess, is the right word.
Yeah.
Depends
Yeah.
on you can have different rules as long as it's an Arizona team. What in tw- the world meet got postponed during COVID, and so the 2020 world meet happened in 2022 in uh, in Russia. It was in Novosibirsk in Siberia or that area, and uh, the local team here, Rhythm, had won nationals the qualifying year, and one of the founding members, Jeanette, who's been on the show, um, she did IVF to have their child, and it,
Mm,
it gave her not a tumor in her brain, but like a massive blood vessels that
mm,
greatly grew and put a bunch of pressure on her brain, and
mm.
so she ended up she's back to jumping now that she's on a kind of a relaxed team, but I mean she was blind for a couple days and like she could barely talk and barely walk and like her motor function was seriously hampered, and so they had to restructure the team and go to the world meet, and there was a just a petition from them like, hey, can we, because it's a little bit restricted about who can go to the meet and how many sort of ancillary people or associated people can go with, and but there was a special request in this case. She had this thing happen and can she'd like to attend though. It's the Steve, her husband, is still on the team, and it's their one time going to the world meet, and it was denied. um, and about a week later, there was another petition for the wife of somebody from Skydive, Arizona, and that was approved.
Come on,
And
man.
I was just like, man, uh, like this is why DZOs should not be on the board. Like you just cannot separate yourself from the
Yeah.
business and make fair decisions about what should
Yeah.
be happening in the world of skydivers. So,
That's interesting. See that like that kind of stuff most skydivers never ever know about.
yeah,
Like never we would never know that,
but
you know?
what else is quietly happening right now is
What's
that the
that?
USPA board voted to approve the installation of electric vehicle car chargers at USPA headquarters. That's paid for by us. Doesn't benefit any of us. The electricity
Hmm.
will very likely be paid for by us so that the staff of USPA can charge their electric vehicles.
Hmm.
I don't know the exact amount. I intend to ask Melissa how that's possible. But then we went to the World Cup in Netherlands, and um, the manager that came with us, she was great. Um, she had to pay her own way. USPA will not pay for the team manager to go to a not world meet competition. It's just a World Cup. So they make that person who does a ton of work and helps the teams immensely while they are there. We all the skydivers have to like crowdfund. Hey, everybody's got to put in $20, so we can pay back this person for airline and accommodation. They have to pay everything themselves.
Huh.
But USPA's mandate has nothing to do with electric cars at headquarters. It has to do with
Yeah.
supporting competition.
Dude. Okay. That's that's kind of messed up. Not
And the
kind of.
only
It is
way that
messed up.
the only way that we know, or I know, is because Steph reads the notes from the board meetings, and she's like, "Oh, she thought they were voting to approve the things, and it wasn't that. They were approved long ago. It was like a status reporting that she happened to see. And she's like, they're putting fucking electric vehicle chargers at USPA for what? Like, how does that benefit
Dude, how much does that
skydiving?
cost?
I mean, your guess is as good as mine. That's what I want to talk to Melissa about. But the like, and it's the corruption. It's exactly the same as the U.S. government. It's all these people paying a small amount. We all pay our dues, and during that conversation about the electrical stuff, Andy brought up like, why am I paying USPA for my ratings? Like, I got my ratings, I paid $800. Why do I have to pay them $200 a year to keep my ratings so I can work in this industry? They don't
Yeah.
do anything. They do nothing for me. Yeah, it's an interesting
Huh.
system that we've got set up. Um,
Well, yeah, okay. That's where I don't know how to think about that because initially, like when you say that, pay for your ratings, like, okay, that's frustrating. But then if I'm going to argue the other side, and I don't know all the ins and outs, so I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just, what comes to my mind.
mhm.
Um, I used to get really frustrated every year when I had to buy a hunting and a fishing license, right? Like I have to renew it every year. And I get so frustrated and so annoyed. I'm like, this is so stupid. Why do I have to pay? Like I live here, I pay taxes. I should get to hunt. I should get to fish, like whatever. Well, then we moved over to Thailand and we lived in Thailand for 8 years. And there is no like wildlife management happening in Thailand. I mean, there's probably a wildlife management um, organization or something, government entity, but they don't do anything. And you try to go fish somewhere, you're not catching fish
Hmm.
because everything's just been seined and netted out of the lake or the river or what. Like, there's no management. It's not being taken care of. Those natural resources are gone.
Hmm.
Now, I never had a chance to hunt in Thailand, so I don't know about hunting, but the fishing is like horrible. Everywhere you go, you just can't catch fish. Maybe if you go to the ocean, you can find some stuff. And
Hmm.
so then I realized, like, wow, like our fishing game, Texas Parks and Wildlife is awesome. It's fantastic. And now every year when I have to renew my fishing license, I'm so happy to give them my $65 or whatever it is because I can go down to the lake and actually catch a fish. I can go to the river and catch a bass or a catfish. Like they're actually taking care of our natural resources.
Yeah.
So that doesn't translate perfectly with what we're talking about, the USPA and everything. They are different things. I understand that. I admit that. Um, so if they're doing something that's actually serving us and providing something valuable to us, then we should pay them. If they're not, then that's a different story. We shouldn't, because people in Thailand are supposed to get fishing license, but they're not getting anything out of it. So that's messed up.
Right.
Texas, we are.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I perhaps if there was that the need of taking fees from all the instructors, that they should perhaps do a better job of saying, well, this is what we're doing with those fees. But
Yeah.
when you start hearing about, like, for me, and again, I want to have a chat with Melissa. She's the person that I know best on the board, and say, what the fuck? Um, but when I start hearing about that kind of stuff, it certainly calls into question, like, how are you spending this money when
Mm,
there's millions of dollars in the coffers for USPA, and they still don't, like other NACs, like pay for training for their athletes. They pay for travel. They pay for accommodation. They pay entry fees. That, like Australia. I mean, there's some really small countries. Australia's not small, but there's some really small countries who are their competitors are being actually supported.
mm,
And like, I think we might have gotten a jersey this year, but certainly not our entry fees or travel or accommodation, none of that stuff. And
yeah.
hey, like you, I certainly wonder, what does an electric charger cost? Was it just one charger? Was it several chargers? Who knows about this? Like, is this just something you snuck in under the wire by attaching it to some other bill, like they do in Congress? Like, oh, we're gonna fix healthcare, but we're also gonna give ourselves a 20% raise, and we don't have to pay healthcare. And like, why is it like this? Yeah. Uh, yeah. Which, yeah. Well,
Well, I'm looking
okay.
it up real quick. I want to know.
Yeah.
Of course, who knows if I'm going to
Let's
be able to
chat
find anything
GPT
accurate.
that. We need to talk about
Uh,
chat GPT a little bit.
yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to be able to find anything. Or, I mean, it's going to take too long for me to find something. Okay, that's all right. Um, well, I have an exciting piece of news
Cool.
that you already know about it, but I'm just super excited. I've been talking about lately the flight labs that I've been working on putting together for Crave and for the website. And it's kind of some new functionality, new service that we're going to be trying to offer, where you can connect with a coach online, and there'll be a few different formats, but basically uh, there'll be the opportunity for you to for skydivers wherever to connect with a Crave approved coach online and upload videos that then that coach will review and give feedback on. And it'll either be in like a group, kind of uh, like a camp setting, a group setting where you're meeting multiple weeks in a row with the same coach, same group of people sharing videos every week, or just like a one-off upload of video. Your coach of your choice reviews it, and then you guys have a one-on-one, or you can just upload a video, have the coach of your choice review it, and then they'll send you the notes and the video back. You can watch, then go rewatch your video with the coach's notes attached, time stamped, and stuff like that. So we're getting very close. We're about to start doing like I guess alpha tests. We're not quite to the beta test yet, but so JRuss, I'm gonna need you to help me with that. I've got a couple other people, skydivers, who said they'd be happy to be test beta testers, alpha testers at the beginning. So please be looking for that. I think it's going to be really, really cool. A great way for people who don't have access to good coaches to get personalized feedback on their flying, on their videos, and their skydiving, their skills and progression. I'm really excited about it. I think it'd be very, very cool.
Yeah. We're gonna do that on Monday.
Yeah. So you and I and Brian are gonna meet on Monday. I'm just gonna give you guys some just very basic instructions for kind of doing that initial alpha testing, going through some things. Right now, it's just making sure that everything's actually working, everything I've set up, all the onboarding, upload, email notifications, everything. There's all sorts of stuff that I've been building out over the past couple of months. So we need to just kind of start testing that live testing that with real people, real videos and stuff. So I'm sure we'll find some stuff that's broken and needs to be fixed before we can keep going.
Always.
Yeah. But I'm really excited. I think, and everybody that I've mentioned it to is super excited about it. Um, like I said, it's a way for, there's skydivers all over the world that are at small drop zones or drop zones where there's not a lot of opportunity for good coaching, good instruction, and they'll have the ability to now get specific personalized coaching on their flying. And I'm just really excited about it. I think that's so great.
Yeah, that'd be nice. I still, I gotta say, I mean, I hope that goes forward, gangbusters. But I still was a little bit flabbergasted when I think about the fact that, you had offered for people to get coaching, just bring your video to these forums, and we only had a couple people do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I feel like I had reams of video when I was a kid, not a kid, younger skydiver. And if I could have gotten free coaching somewhere, I definitely would have done it.
Yeah.
But I will say that a lot of times when we have stuff at the drop zone, and this is a thing about human beings, I'm not really sure where it comes from, but if we say that, hey, you can come over to the drop zone on Friday and you get free VFS coaching. And if you can come by yourself, you can bring friends, whoever, we just put four of you together and try and find a camera flyer, or maybe one of us will fly camera for you, but it's free. It's free. You don't have to pay for it. We get two people to show up. If we if we have a camp, sequentials, and hey, we're going to teach you basic sequentials. It's $75 a day for 3 days, 225 plus your jumps plus pack jobs, whatever. It'll sell out.
Yeah.
Why is that?
I don't know. I don't know. When
Mm,
we used to teach, we taught English lessons in
mm,
Thailand, and we were working with a college, a bunch of college students, and so when we would offer free English classes, same thing. Like we'd get one or two people show up, but then
yeah,
we'd be like, okay, English class. It's a 4 week English class. We're going to meet every Tuesday, and it's however much per person. Then all of a sudden, like all these people want to pay and show up.
yeah,
Something about, I guess it makes it feel more official, more real. Maybe it's like, oh, well, you're charging us. Well, you must be putting in more work too. Like, I don't know,
yeah.
but
I don't know. Yeah. Okay. So ChatGPT came back with couldn't find exact costs of the car chargers, but based on the minutes that they're clearly being installed, um, a rough guess of installation in such a setting might be mid thousands of dollars, $2,000 to $10,000 or more, depending on complexity. There was a point where it said could be up to $60,000 per charger. It says commercial public charging installations up to $60,000 per charger.
hmm, that sounds a little much. I could see like five, you know,
Yeah.
per. I mean, still that's a lot. I don't like that they're spending our skydiving money on
Any
electric car chargers.
like I totally support your electric car. I think it's a great idea. I don't want
But
to pay
I
for
shouldn't
it.
be paying for your
Yeah,
electric car charger.
yeah,
That
uh,
would be like that would be like us paying for them to have a gas station at the USPA. Why would we do that? We wouldn't do that.
right.
We wouldn't pay for you to have your own gas pump at the
I,
USPA.
I'm really hoping there's more to the. I mean, I'm sure there's more to the picture than I see, and I'm really hoping that people are better than I believe them to be, because I'm pretty cynical most of the time about, uh, you know, do people do the right thing? I mean, how do you define integrity? What's your personal definition?
Oh, that's good, man. I was just listening to somebody talk about this just like on the way home from iFly. Somebody he was just talking about integrity. That's crazy. And he said so the word integrity comes from the word that's the same word that we use for integer.
Mm-hmm.
And an integer is a whole number, not a part, a whole. So, man, my definition of integrity,
Your dog shits in the park in the middle of the night and there's nobody around.
I'm not picking that up.
No,
No.
because my
But
definition,
I don't think that's integrity.
normally I would say integrity is doing the right thing when nobody can see you.
I think that's a good definition. So then
That,
we argue about what's the right
yeah.
thing.
Now I tend to think that dog shit should just be out in the world.
That's
Like
what I
it's a
think.
bummer to step on, but
That's
whatever.
exactly what
Like
I think.
I don't think we should be using plastic bags to pick up dog poop.
Yeah.
Every animal in the world poops, and it's part of the ecosystem. And so I don't. I'm glad that you answered honestly.
Yeah, I think
uh,
a definition of integrity, like being actually being who you present yourself to be.
hmm, yeah,
You
I'll
know,
buy that.
like I put on this face and I want you to think of me in a certain way. Integrity is that I really am that way.
Yeah. Hmm.
That's maybe not the most full, thorough, best definition, but I think that's part of it. You know,
Yeah. Uh,
that I
uh,
really am who I've tried to make you think who I am.
where's my phone? I'm going to look up the word integrity.
Okay. So, okay, while you're looking that up, we were talking a minute ago, and I think it's good for us to at least bring up and talk about a little bit, even though we don't know all the information about the tandem, the accident that happened this past week.
Hmm.
You know, you and I were both talking. We don't know a lot of the details. Something, a tandem accident. What do you know about it that you can share?
Steph made me aware of it a couple days ago, and just that originally we speculated that because it said a tandem instructor fell out of the harness, which I have a tandem rating. I have done honestly the bare minimum of tandems to get the rating because I don't really need to do tandems, but I need it for the military work that I do. And so, but the idea of falling out of a rig seems preposterous.
Yeah,
And so both she and I said, "Does that like the guy kill himself?" Um, and I don't know his name. Steph said that some people referred to him as Spidey, which I think was obviously a nickname. And but some people that we were friends with had posted things like, "I'm sorry you're gone. I'm gonna miss you," and people that have integrity, in my opinion, and uh, it just didn't seem to square with somebody committing suicide and then being sort of praised publicly. Um, Not that those two things can't go together, but normally when someone kills themselves, it's just a little bit different verbiage that comes out.
yeah,
And so I think either this morning or yesterday morning, Steph said that she had reviewed a few different news sources, some of them clearly wrong, but just news people who are either saying what they think will get viewers or clicks, or they're just totally uninformed. But it sounded like as they exited a small, like a Cessna kind of airplane, that they hooked on maybe the step, and that in the effort to get off the step, that's when the instructor actually did fall out of the harness. And I still don't understand exactly how that could happen, but the student, it sounded like the pilot had done a maneuver to basically tip the plane so that the student was able to fall and get off of the step, and then the student fell through a cypress fire, and then potentially hung up in a tree and was brought down by rescue workers, potentially uninjured. But uh, I mean, I will definitely need to hear more to understand how you unintentionally fall out of your harness. And if you start, I don't know, loosening stuff for, I mean, I, I, it's so easy to armchair quarterback, and so I don't necessarily want to do that. But um, what is that noise? Is that me? Is that you?
oh.
Do you hear that? It sounds like somebody's peeing in the background. um, can you hear that? I can't. I don't think it's here.
I don't
And
hear it. You still hear it?
no, it was just going on and off, and I was like, it
I
can't.
don't hear it.
Yeah, okay. Well, um, I mean, if you're exiting the plane at full altitude and you get hung up on the plane, I feel like that's not great. But also, I've said to a lot of people over the years, like there's just really no place for panic in skydiving. Like you kind of got to keep your head, and I mean that's sort of true in life. Um, but if you're at 13,000 feet or whatever, say they were exiting at the minimum altitude of whatever that is, 8,500 or 8,000 feet, you're still 8,000 feet above the ground, and the plane's still flying. Like even a 182, if somebody gets caught up on the wheel, there's maybe he has to descend to maintain airspeed, but you're like you can collect yourself for a second and try and figure out, how do I safely get out of this scenario without crashing the plane and killing everybody. And so I just think starting to disconnect pieces of the harness again, I'm armchair quarterbacking a situation that I don't even know in full, so it's really hard to
Yeah.
say. It's just it's just I guess need more information. But I have thought before that if when I die, that it's honestly it's not something really stupid. That at least the people that know me could be like, okay, well, a riser snapped. You know, something that I mean, even that's kind of dumb. I should maintain my equipment, you know. But um, if I did something like forgot my chest strap and exited the plane, I, I mean,
Yeah.
my concerns are over, at least in this life. But I would prefer it not to be something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, the things that I heard was just people, really more people speculating that really didn't know. Um,
Yeah.
Second or third, fourth hand knowledge, like, yeah, this is what I heard. And so, I mean, I don't know what happened. When I read on the internet, it was news outlets saying that, a student and an instructor were both separated from the rig.
Mm,
And then I see pictures of them like getting rescuing the student out of the trees, obviously under a canopy in a rig. So I'm like, okay, these news outlets obviously don't have any idea what they're talking about. They're just saying anything. So I don't know what happened. Um, I was, as I was telling you earlier, like I was imagining, it does sound like it seems pretty certain from what we can gather that the instructor did somehow. The instructor was separated from the tandem rig
yeah.
and was lost. And so I was just thinking, man, that poor student, like that, whether it was the entire free fall from plane to the ground or whatever, for a significant portion of that skydive, that student was by themselves and didn't realize there was an AAD, didn't even know what that was, that existed, and was probably just terrified. Like, man, what a horrible experience. So,
Yeah, like they don't know how to fly. They don't know how to be belly to earth. The, they didn't throw a drogue. Uh, I mean, it's not tandem terminal. Have you been on a jump called tandem terminal? You ever been on it?
no,
Like the
no.
tandem pair intentionally or unintentionally doesn't release the drogue.
Oh, no.
Um, I mean, for me, it's a head down skydive.
Yeah,
They're and I don't have much out in the wind. Like they're going fast. Um, and I've been on many of those now, uh, intentional
yeah,
ones, and they're quick. I couldn't imagine. I mean, the TSO for a tandem survives that. That's how it got the TSO. Um, is that the reserve can do that, uh, and it was rated to. I mean, if the instructor wasn't there, it's rated for much more weight than a single student would have.
yeah.
Um,
And it wouldn't be as fast, right? With just a
right.
single student, that terminal would be slower.
Yeah. Um, I don't know if, but you're right. What a terrible experience. And
Mm.
then to basically believe that this was it, um, until that parachute comes out magically.
Magically, like
Guy,
that, just what a miracle in your mind. That would be a true miracle. Like, what just happened? How did I not
yeah.
die? You know?
Do you remember if a few years ago, maybe 6 or 7 years ago, there was a tandem pair that exited? It was a military guy who was the student, um, no experience, and this chokes me up a little bit when I remember the story. But the guy was an older gentleman behind, and he had a heart attack in free fall.
Mm.
And the military guy, uh, he had a heart attack under canopy. So the military guy takes the toggles out of the hands of the now deceased instructor, lands the parachute, disconnects himself, and starts CPR.
Oh my goodness! Wow,
Like, what a champ.
wow.
Uh,
No, I'd never heard that story.
and the instructor didn't make it, but
Yeah.
just I mean, just think about that scenario of
Mm.
I don't know how to fly a parachute, don't know what to do with these strings. I, this freaking guy just died. I've got a dead dude strapped to me for I mean, tandem canopy ride is a number of minutes, you know, three, four,
Mm.
5 minutes, and then how do I disconnect myself and then let me try and save this guy's life?
Golly,
just a champ. Like,
man.
yeah.
Wow. So why do y'all do intentional? Can you talk about that? The intentional terminal. What'd you say?
Tandem terminal. It's I mean it. I think that in my tandem course we do it. It's so that you feel you just understand what's going on.
Mm,
Like there definitely been people who get out and forget to set the drogue,
okay.
and so they want people to understand, like, well, the wind speed's going to pick up. Like it's going to feel considerably different because you're going so much faster, but you can't drogue release without a drogue out. So the main parachute, like on a Sigma, is not going to open without the drogue being out through the release handles. If you forgot to set the drogue and you don't get it out prior to the time that you want to deploy, then you only have reserve as an option.
You
Um,
can't release the drogue
you can't.
later.
Well, you yeah, you can set the drogue later, but the drogue release handles, which most people would call pulling the main parachute, are not going to function if the drogue's not out there.
Gotcha.
Um, and so if you forgot it at any time, you can set it. I mean,
Okay.
anytime. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't do it
Yeah.
as soon as you realize it. But one of the other things that, at least when I'm assisting those courses, or in my course, I didn't have an outside video flyer because I didn't really care to have outside video. But for most people, seeing your videographer in a head down orientation should give you a clue that, hey, this is something's wrong. Like,
Mm,
either you blew your drogue, which probably would still not be a head down videographer, maybe head up. But if your videographer's head down, you have something's going wrong.
mm-hmm.
Um, and my teammate Andy has actually had that in real life, where the instructor forgot to set the drogue, and he's head down in front of him, going, "Hey, pull!" Like, and the guy's just, yeah, 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 everything's good. And I mean, he's holding it belly to earth, but they're Andy's head down, and they're going,
They're
"My
just
Jesus!"
smoking.
And yeah, and it, he did end up pulling the reserve at tandem terminal, which is really fast. I would,
Does it hurt? Have you talked to people
yeah,
that have done it?
I mean, no, I don't know anyone personally who's had to reserve deploy without a drogue. I know plenty of people who've had a drogue out and the container wouldn't open for one reason or the other, and then they had to use a reserve, but that's totally different.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean,
You think it would hurt? How
I've
fast do you think they're going? I mean, head down. A fast
one,
head. You're saying a fast head down.
yeah, 190 to 200,
Okay, I
somewhere
would
in
say
there.
200.
Mhm.
Dude,
I mean, I'm not the biggest dude, and I still have some legs out when I do it. And the guys I'm
you
filming
could
are,
go faster, but still, that's
yeah, but
fast.
it's quick. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, have you ever had? I've never had a terminal tandem deployment myself. Period. Mine
Well, I
have
mean,
all
I've only
been.
been on two tandems ever in my life. So,
I sorry, I mean sport rig. Have you, like,
oh,
I've never terminal thrown out my reserve from terminal. Like,
what do you mean?
well, like,
Belly, like belly terminal, but you
yeah,
mean head down
no, but
terminal?
I've never just gone straight to reserve.
Oh, 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 oh. I see what you're saying. No, I've never done that.
Yeah, I've always been going considerably slower because the main was out somehow.
Yeah.
I mean, it fucked up, of course,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, I think I have 23 reserve rides now. Um, I had one a few months ago, but
Yeah.
always, yeah, always something out. So I don't know. I know Sarah Curtis, that I used to compete against and I work for pretty regularly. She exited the plane and her Cypress fired, or AAD. I don't know if it was a Cypress or a Vigil, to be honest, but it fired while she was still on the hill,
Mm,
and it sat her up in the harness from a head down configuration so fast that both of her shoes got ripped off. Um, and it's pretty old. I'm sure it's like 20 or so years old now that happened. But I just don't know there are any people who have reserve fired from a full on
yeah.
tandem, or a full on terminal speed.
Yeah. Man.
So I
You should,
assume that it was
yeah.
shocking, but for that dude, I don't care how much it hurt. He was super stoked to see that
Oh, I was
canopy.
thrilled.
Yeah. Uh, whew, what a yeah. It reminds me of that guy that we had on, so a couple of years ago, Nick, who Remember him? Who
Yes,
did
Nick
the
Russo.
yeah the
Yeah, oh
so
yeah.
many revolutions, and then I didn't think I had an AAD on, so I was tracking to the river so I could just die in the water, and then oh my my hey, I've got a reserve.
And he was like
Um,
half conscious.
yeah, Whew.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was crazy.
We were just
I counted those revolutions in the video. I can't remember what it was, like 36 or something insane.
39, 38 or 39.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. I We were
You
talking
saw the
about him the
sun
other
going
day.
around and around and
Yeah,
around and around.
I have not. He came back and he jumped for a little while, but I haven't seen him in a long time.
Hmm.
I don't know if he'll ever be listening to this, but hopefully he's doing okay.
Yeah.
Um, it's funny when you think about like people that used to see around the drop zone, and I've been trying to like there's this gosh, I think he's from Ukraine. It's a very large guy, Dennis. He must have been 7 feet tall. He's a huge human. Um, and he
Oh,
just
Dennis, he wears a yellow jumpsuit.
yellow, red, kind of brightly colored suit. Yeah,
I
yeah.
met him at Summerfest last year. He jumped with me one day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I don't think he's been back around since then. Um, so I just sent him a message the other day, like, "Hey man, how's it going? Haven't seen you in a while." And he said he hadn't jumped in more than a year, and just kind of seeing where he's at in life and is he going to keep jumping.
Yeah.
It's always interesting when people drop out of the sport and you're like, oh yeah, yeah. What about that dude?
Yeah. Yeah.
He used to be around all the time.
Well, you remember Josh Rotman that helped film y'all's course? You remember Josh?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He was the
Mm-hmm.
main. He was like our main
Mm-hmm.
video. He ran the crew. Uh, I try to keep up with him every once in a while, and so yeah, he. I texted him. Well, we were just texting not too long, a couple days ago, but before that, I had texted him like a few months back. I just hadn't heard from him. I hadn't talked in a while, so I texted him, said something about jumping because they moved. He moved up to New England area, and he was like, "Yeah, I actually just sold my main the other day." And I was like, "What? No, no!"
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, ah, dude. Especially when it's like a friend, like somebody that you have fun with, and like you enjoy being around them, you enjoy jumping together, and then they say they're not jumping anymore. It's like, ah,
Yeah, the guy that I started jumping with, his name's Graham. Um, he and I, for years, just did so many activities together: skiing and rock climbing and hiking and kayaking. And he was the one who actually suggested that we skydive while I was recovering from a motocross accident. And I don't remember how many jumps he finished with. But when we had, so we both got started. Had exactly the same jump numbers, or within one or two jumps of each other. And we got on a belly team, and we were in our second season, I think, in belly jumping. And we were both trying to learn to swoop and using a single front riser, and we were on fucking specters, like not the canopy to swoop on. You got to hold it until about 30 or 40 feet,
oh gosh,
and then let up, and it instantly recovers. It's just was dumb. It was just no other way to say it. But we were both doing it, and I landed, and he had some traffic, like he couldn't do a single riser, so he did double fronts, and he just held it like 10 feet too long, and he smashed himself into the ground. And I like looked over, and I had just landed, and I looked over, and he hit and bounced and stood up, and I was like, holy shit, maybe he's okay. That looked so bad, but maybe he's okay. And from like he was a super strong guy, very fit. And so he stands up, and I'm like, Graham, and he just falls back over. He broke his back, broke his foot really bad. Um, and so there's a hospital ambulance ride, and he's sitting like on his back with his knees in like a V, pretty
hmm.
steep V, and the medics really wouldn't touch him. They knew he had a back injury. And he's like, Russ, the van, the whatever we were in, the thing is just moving too much. Can you hold my knees? Because I feel like my spine is twisting, and I don't want it to twist right now, but I can't really hold anything. And so I'm like bear hugging his knees, and every bump that we go over, I'm like, we're gonna separate his spine, like,
Dude.
uh, so, and he's in so much pain.
Oh my
And
gosh.
so we get to the hospital in Longmont, the trauma center, and they finally gave him Dilaudid, they gave him a bunch of different things and nothing was touching it, and they gave him Dilaudid and he lost consciousness. And I said, "Oh, what did you give him?" And they said Dilaudid, and I said, "What is that?" Like, "Oh, it's like morphine on a couple rounds of steroids." And so he ended up he took a break and I kept going, and but he came back to it eventually, and got up to 2 or 3 thousand jumps, and really talented flyer, and then just got married, started having kids, and that's it. He doesn't jump anymore.
Yeah.
Um, and whenever that happens, it's happened a few times with friends. They just, I think I'm hanging it up. I, I don't understand,
Yeah.
and I really struggle. Like, I don't struggle, but like, you know what I mean. Like, trying to think about for what reason am I going to hang it up? Am I going to hang it up, or am I just going to be jumping until I die? Because I'm not having kids. I really like what we're doing as far as like the work and
Yeah.
training, and I always want to be training for something. It doesn't matter. I don't think it's going to matter how old I am. I'm going to be wanting to train for something. I
Yeah.
might, octogenarians triathlon or something, but there's going to be some reason to train.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Okay, what else did we? Yeah, well, I was going to just briefly talk about ChatGPT because I know that you said you've been using it.
Mm-hmm.
But and for anybody out there, probably there's going to be some people who've been using it who are going to laugh at me right now, and then there's going to be some people who have not used it. They'll be like, "Oh, well, maybe I'll give it a go." But I just downloaded the free version. I didn't pay anything, and I had to run through. They had like 8 or 10 voices or personalities that I could choose from for like who is going to talk back to me.
Yeah.
Um,
What'd you choose?
I chose Sol, SOL, because it said clear and concise, and it's a female voice, and I just like the sound of her voice.
Get her. Can you
Um,
get her to talk to us?
sure. Uh, hey, Soul, are you there?
I'm here. Let me know if there's anything else you'd like to know or if you have any other questions.
Tell her you're interested in getting into skydiving. What do you need to do?
Soul, if I'm interested in starting skydiving, what do you think that I need to do?
That's exciting. To get started with skydiving, here are some general steps you can follow. First, find a reputable drop zone. Look for a well reviewed and certified skydiving center near you. The USPA, United States Parachute Association, has a list of certified drop zones. Two, choose a training program. Most beginners start with the tandem jump, where you jump attached to an experienced instructor. After that, you can move on to the accelerated freefall AFF program, which involves more hands on training. Medical clearance. Make sure you're in good health. Some drop zones may require a basic medical check, especially if you have pre existing conditions. For gear and equipment, the drop zone will provide all the necessary equipment for your first jump. As you advance, you might want to invest in your own gear. Safety first, always follow the instructions of your instructors, attend the training sessions, and make sure you understand all safety protocols. Practice and patience. Skydiving has a learning curve, so be patient and enjoy the process. If you have any specific questions or need recommendations, just let me know.
That's a pretty good answer.
Not bad, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so the other day I had an MRI. I messed up my left knee, and I had to go get an MRI, and I got to probably have surgery. Um,
You
but
just recently messed it up.
it's been a few months of kind of hurting, and I knew
Okay.
something was wrong. But basically, I had that hip thing,
Yeah.
and all of our out of pocket deductible is taken care of for the year. So Steph's like, "Well, if you're gonna have to have something, go get it now, and
Mm.
then we don't have to pay anything else."
Yeah.
So I had about an hour and 15 minutes drive to the MRI, and then an hour and 15 minute back. And I used up all of my daily limit on conversation with ChatGPT. So this is the kind of shit, like, just driving along, and this is the kind of stuff that I want to do. Hey, Soul, can you hear me? Oops.
It's crazy how they make her say and ah. You know.
Right. Yeah. Soul, you there?
I'm right here and ready whenever you are. If you have more questions or need anything else, just let me know.
So I had asked you the other day about the theory of quantum entanglement. Can you just give me an overview real quick and tell me what progress has been made as far as encoding information into quantum entanglement so that we might have real-time communication over vast distances?
Absolutely. Quantum entanglement is a phenomenon where two or more particles become linked so that the state of one instantly influences the state of the other, no matter how far apart they are. This was famously described by Einstein as spooky action at a distance. Key points of quantum entanglement: non locality. Measurements on one particle instantly affect the other regardless of distance. Superposition. Entangled particles share a combined state, and their individual states aren't defined until measured. No faster than light communication. While entanglement is instantaneous, it doesn't allow for faster than light transmission of information on its own. The measurement outcomes are random. Progress in encoding information. Quantum cryptography. Entanglement is used in quantum key distribution, KKD, like the BB84 protocol, to ensure ultra secure communication. Quantum teleportation. This allows the transfer of quantum states between particles over long distances, though it still requires classical communication to complete. Quantum networks researchers are working on building quantum repeaters and networks that can extend entangled states across large distances, potentially enabling real-time quantum communication in the future. Recent progress: quantum repeaters, significant strides have been made in developing quantum repeaters, which help maintain.
Okay, Sol, that's enough. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You're very
Jeez.
welcome. If you have any more questions in the future, just let me know. Have fun exploring all these fascinating topics.
And I mean, I find myself talking to her as if I'm talking to a human, saying please and thank you,
Yeah.
um, I just, I mean, I got an overview of Roman history from the establishment of the empire through the fall. I got an overview of the rise and fall of Egyptian culture, the I the Sumerians, cuneiform, the origins of language, prototypes of art, like any random shit that comes to my mind. I've just got earbuds in and I start asking questions and I get these really interesting answers back.
Yeah.
And so I'm fascinated. Like I don't know what the downside is. And I actually started asking like, okay, what are the sort of the dystopian futures that people are envisioning through AI? Like, what are the potential downfalls of a sentient robot? And Soul outlined it for me as far as what are people really concerned about, and what could happen if we allow them, if we allow sentient AI to have control over these systems. That could be problematic depending on what its goals are or how those goals develop. And I mean, just Steph said that one of the big criticisms of ChatGPT is that people will stop doing their own research.
Yeah.
I
Stop
totally get
thinking.
that. It's really fascinating
Thanks,
how
Soul. I'm
easily
good.
have it. No worries at all. If you ever want to dive into anything else or just chat, I'm here for it. Just
There
let
you
me
go.
know.
So I had to ask her to only speak to me when I say her name first, because it was just like I would cough and she would be like, "Okay, I'm here. What do you want?"
Yeah.
Um, but as far as not like, what does that mean? Not do your own research? Because like if
Yeah,
I Soul, I'm sorry. Can you stay quiet for a little while?
of course. I'll be quiet. Just let me know when you're ready to chat again.
Yeah.
That is hilarious. You gotta
Yeah.
tell your
I'm here
robot to
whenever you
be
need me.
quiet.
Just let me know.
Okay, I gotta shut down. I gotta shut her
Hey
down.
robot, shut up.
Yeah.
No,
Uh, um, but like, what do
I
you do
love
when you
it.
research something? How do you research it?
Google search.
Yeah, Google search, and then you get all the paid advertisements, and then you've got to like cobble together the answer that you're looking for, which
Yeah.
none of them are actually what you want. Um, through all this information that maybe you find some nugget in there that okay, this is actually what I was looking for. But if you ask the right prompt to this AI, you get it instantly. Isn't that
I see
time
what you're,
saving?
I see what you're saying. You're saying, is it, you're still doing the research, you're just doing it in a different way. And is that truly a negative? Is that a bad thing that I would go on Google do the same search, compile all the information, go through a bunch of garbage to find
Yeah.
the good stuff. Now chat does it for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. That, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. So another thing that I've heard, some people, a concern that people have raised is a little bit different than what you said, is that it's going to cause us to stop thinking for ourselves, which maybe is a little bit different. No, not maybe. It is a little bit different. For example, um, let's say, okay, here's a perfect example. I've been trying to send out my resume and stuff for different jobs, and Tanya actually sent a resume for at her same school where she teaches, but just a different position. So she had to put together a resume, and they wanted a cover letter. Okay, cool. Well, she wrote the cover letter herself, but what I could totally see people doing, and is very tempting to do, give Chat GPT your resume, be like, hey, here's my resume, and then give them the job that you're trying to get. You can find the job description online. Here's the job that I'm trying to get. Write a cover letter for me. Look at my resume. Look at all my anything you don't want to share with it. Look at my resume. Look at the job description. Write me a cover letter. Well, now you didn't have to think through all that. And so I think that's what's going to happen. Like it allows you to not have to think, hey, I need to write an email to so and so for this thing. Da da da. Can you write the email for me? Yeah. Okay. Here you go. Bam. And that's what's bothersome to me is that, like, let's say I need to write an email to you, and I'm like, hey, chat, write me this email. And so chat does. And I send the email to you. You get the email, and you're like, hey, I need to respond to this email. Chat, can you write the email response for me? Sure. So chat writes the email. And then I get your response. I'm like, hey, chat, can you write a response back? So now all we're doing, me and you aren't even communicating anymore. It's chat. It's AI just talking back and forth to itself.
Yeah.
AI is doing everything. That's what concerns me. I think that's going to happen. I
The
think it's already happening.
Yeah. I mean, I don't agree that part. Like, I think that if I get an email, I'm going to read it, and if there are people in the world who are too busy to read their own emails, just like I don't know. I mean, maybe that could happen. While you were talking, the thing that I think could be problematic is kids using it in school, where they don't have to actually do any research of their own, and they come out of high school or college without really having an education, because people will many times take the path of least resistance, and so that could be a problem. Uh, Although I don't know. To be honest, when I look back on college, like, it was a really good social experience. Uh, and I did learn a lot of things, but mostly it was a great transition from high school of being under my parents to a semi-autonomous lifestyle of I've got to kind of manage my own money and kind of manage my time and get to work and get to class, and it was sort of an intermediate step to being an independent adult, in my opinion, where a lot of kids, when you're 18 and you're not going to go to college, you just, okay, good luck in the world, and that transition might be less smooth. But that's kind of an expensive way to have that transition.
Yeah.
Um, and I wouldn't go back and change. Like, I enjoyed college, and I think I did learn a lot. But at the same time, like, I just think back to integrity where we started. People shouldn't cheat. Like, if you're like, what's the point of education? Like, if you are you just there to get a degree, or are you there to be a smarter, better human being who knows more things? I don't know. But then that really calls into question, why would you go to university? Because you can go to Coursera.org or many institutions around the country now that just get free education on anything, or even YouTube. You can learn anything you
Mm-hmm.
want to learn. And yet people are looking at porn and cat videos on their phone instead, instead of reading. Um,
Well, and now
uh,
you can get chat to teach you what you want to know,
but yes,
and
and
that's a good thing. I mean, there are
yeah,
good and bad. Yeah, yeah,
but I basically got lectured about the rise and fall of the Roman Empire for
yeah.
45 minutes. I just kept asking different questions. Can you talk about this emperor, and what happened when Nero burned down the city, and blah blah blah. And and I stuck on Marcus Aurelius for a while because I have read Meditations a couple times, and Stoicism is a really interesting philosophical idea in my mind, and I asked lots of questions about it. But I'm driving. I have no ability to like do any actual research on my own at that moment. But and yet I feel like I learned kind of a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I definitely think I think in lots of ways it's going to help us a lot.
Yeah.
Um, I've kind of been wondering lately because I've been using chat a lot lately for the stuff that I'm developing for Crave. And so a lot of it is requiring code, like custom code for web
Hmm.
pages and for API calls and all this different stuff. So I don't know how to do that. So I just get chat to write the code for me. And so what will happen, I've just been using chat GPT because it's, I don't know why I chose it, honestly. I just did. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So I've been using chat GPT, but sometimes I'll get to a point where we're working on something, me and chat GPT, and we're stuck. Like something's not working. Like we're trying to develop this one little thing. Like, I don't know, it's just not working. And we keep having the same problem over and over. The same error message keeps showing up. And so finally I'll get frustrated. I'm like, okay, this is not working. You keep telling me to do basically the same thing over and over. This is not right. So I'll tell chat, I'm like, write me a prompt that I can give to Claude AI. You know what Claude is?
Mm.
Claude is another LLM, another AI, but it is designed specifically for coding. Like it's really, really good at coding. Its base knowledge is all around computer and coding and stuff. So what I'll do when we get to a place where we're stuck, I'm like, okay, chat, I'm going to ask Claude for help. Write me a prompt that will summarize what we're trying to do and the problems that we're dealing with, what we're trying to fix, that I can give to Claude, so Claude will know exactly where we're at, what we're trying to do, and can help us, come up with a solution. And chat's like, cool, bam, writes it out. I copy and paste that prompt and I give it to Claude. Claude helps me find the solution, usually pretty quick. So what I've found myself wondering is that when I ask ChatGPT, when I tell it like, hey, I'm going to go ask Claude for help, I'm like, how long is it? At what point will ChatGPT get so advanced that it'll get jealous? Like, when will it get frustrated and annoyed that I'm going to ask a different AI for help?
Okay, but that's
You know what I'm
man,
saying?
that is a huge question, Chris.
Right?
Like, and that is sort of the crux of the issue of what does it mean to have an actual sentience in an artificial intelligence? And
Mm-hmm.
one of the reasons why I don't see a dystopia when I think about that is that there's no like people just can't avoid being people. They are people, and you cannot help but personify what's going to come out of a computer in your world. Like, what would happen if it becomes sentient? Well, it's going to get angry, or it's going to get hurtful, or it's going to it's going to
Jealous.
like
Yeah.
you ascribe all these emotions
Yeah.
and humanity type feelings to a being that there's absolutely no requirement for it to have those. And intelligence is not correlated with emotion.
Mm.
And in fact, if this thing becomes super intelligent, there's nothing to say that, I mean, we have no platform, no experience to draw on. We are intelligent beings, although that's an incredibly interesting question all on its own. But like our emotions are so inextricably tied to our intelligence that we cannot even fathom of something that could function only based on efficiency, only based on looking for the best solution to something, and not have greed and jealousy and anger and all of those other human things that are no part, not necessarily any part of a new life form.
Yeah. I mean, it was basically Spock on Star Trek, right?
Right. Well, yeah. I
Right.
mean,
I
if
mean,
you're a
didn't
real Trekkie, you know that he had a half. He was a half
well
human.
his
His mother was human,
yeah, that's
um,
right. Sorry.
and so that his
My
emotional
bad.
side. Yeah, yeah.
Chill
His
out,
emotion. It's
JRuss.
okay.
Chill out. Calm down. No,
I
I'm just
just
kidding.
grew up on that stuff.
Just kidding.
But yes, Vulcans were supposed to be sort of human
Right.
computers.
100% logic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then but they like that was the utopia of the universe. Really, they didn't get angry. They didn't get upset. They used logic and reason to.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine if humans could do that.
But then we wouldn't have emotion. Don't you like your emotions?
Have you ever heard the term emotional hijacking?
I don't know. No, I guess
It,
not.
it's just it's those moments in your life where the emotions overpowered your frontal cortex.
Oh yeah. Oh okay. Yeah, I've experienced that many times.
Yeah, and I have as well. And although I think that human beings generally are mosaic, in a word, because of those emotions, and we have wonderful attributes, but we also have horrible downfalls. And I don't think that I would trade a more sort of monotone existence of I wouldn't want to be a Vulcan, but I certainly can see that humanity might be better off with a Vulcan overlord, uh, someone who's simply going to do the best for all and going to follow the tenet of the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
Yeah, I'm smiling because I don't even know what that would look like. That would be.
Yeah. Well, one of the
Wait, so you're
dystopias that
saying you wouldn't give up the emotions, right? You're saying the emotions are valuable,
I
right?
mean,
Isn't
this
that what you
this
just said?
that's an existential question of who are we, and so
But is
I
that
would,
what you kind of, I mean, you said something along the, right?
yeah,
What'd
yeah.
you say when you
Mhm.
said I wouldn't give up the,
I wouldn't give up the emotional highs and lows for a more monotone
yeah, okay.
existence.
So you're
Uh,
saying the emotions do have great value. I mean, you're saying you wouldn't give them up. So that means you have to think they're super valuable.
I think they are who
Yeah.
we are. Yeah.
Yeah. I think so too.
But when I
Because I
see
think,
the, go ahead.
well, I just thinking about like for me and you, the first thing that comes to my mind is like when I'm wake up in the middle of the night and I put my hand over Tanya's on Tanya's hip or thigh, or her hand, is right there, and I just roll over and you know snuggle up next to her. Or for you, like you wake up in the morning and there's Steph right there by you. That emotion, that feeling, like that's too good, man.
Yeah.
That's just too good. You
But
know?
when you see some news headline that the ruler of the free world was up at 3 in the morning tweeting angrily that Elon Musk has got to go, or some stupid shit like that, does that make you feel good? Does that make you feel like, oh, our country is in good hands?
Well, I don't know what you're talking about, but
Well, I think
are we
that
gonna
the,
get off on it? Go
yeah,
for it. Tell me. Yeah,
yeah,
give it.
well,
Lay it
I'm
on me,
just
man. Let me have
I'm
it.
just saying that the people who make decisions about what's best for the greatest number of people, when they're doing that for greed, or they're doing
Oh,
that
oh,
for
okay.
some sort of
Sure.
retribution, or they're
Yeah.
doing it for anything other than the greatest good for the greatest number of people, then I think the emotion is giving
Yeah.
us problems.
When
Um,
they're deciding to put the electric car chargers in with our skydiving money.
but one of the things that could be a reality, because coding people who do coding for work, if they're not already looking for other jobs, then they're way behind the curve, because that is going to go away. And I know, because a friend told me, who Raj, who was on our podcast, um, talked about, he and I had a conversation sometime recently, record ish time, about how Google, I think he works for Google, had laid off like 20,000 people. And he didn't think
Oh,
that his job was immediately in jeopardy, but he is in that coding segment. And he's like, we're all going to go. I mean, because the chatbots right now, they can't do everything that we do, but they do it without errors, and they do it the first
okay.
time.
That's
And
not
they,
true. They do not do it without errors. That's not true. I mean, I've just from my limited experience over the past couple of months,
yeah,
they make errors in coding, for
well,
sure.
but the point is that this is going to leap forward, like the progress that AI is going to make on writing code is going to go so fast.
Yeah, yeah,
and
that's true.
and so then if say hundreds of thousands of people are out of work as coders, and then we have AI start driving and all the truck drivers are out of work, um, like what is the solution for humanity at that point? Or the next 10 years, what's the solution?
Yeah, no, that's a very good question. And obviously, I mean, this is not the answer to your question, and I want to talk about what you're saying. But just side note, as we've seen with other technologies, technology always tends to eliminate jobs but create
Yeah,
jobs, right? So
yeah, yeah.
there will be new jobs that are created, but that's not what you're asking about, and I understand that. I do think part of what that's going to do is it's going to force us to ask ourselves the question, is work valuable? Is work something that we should want to do? Is work good?
Well,
What is work? Why do we work? Do I want to, all those things? Because so I mean I have to go back to God. I mean that's I mean you know me and well enough to know that like that's where I'm going to go. Like so I believe based on the Bible that and you may realize this already, but in the Garden of Eden in Genesis in the beginning, when was work introduced compared to the apple? Like the eating of the apple, the first sin,
mm,
work existed before that. So God already gave Adam and Eve work to do before they messed up, before the fall. So when they ate the apple and then they were cursed, work was not a part of the curse.
mm,
Work was already part of what their existence was, to work and tend to the garden and take care of everything. So work, if the Bible is true and God exists and all that stuff, God thinks work is good for us. And it was part of the original blessing of the Garden of Eden. Like the paradise had work. The curse was that the work would be the fruits of their work would be difficult. It would be hard for them to produce
mm.
things and do and stuff. Like that was the curse, or part of the curse. Anyways, so I think like what you're getting at is that it's going to force us to ask, like, do I want to work?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to get her to jump on. She likes to land on my glasses, but it's dark right now, so she's not really doing it.
But you know what I'm trying to get at?
Yeah, yeah, I do, and that's a multifaceted response for me. That there's tons of anecdotal stories about people who retire and they're dead within like 6 months because their sense of purpose is gone.
Yeah.
Another reason why I don't want to stop jumping and I want to keep doing what I'm doing because I really enjoy it. And I do think people need a sense of purpose, and that a lot of times work becomes the sense of purpose that people have. And one of the conversations that I've heard about what happens if ChatGPT or whatever artificial intelligence displaces jobs from a lot of people, are we going to then start to reconsider the idea of a universal basic income where everyone just gets paid a salary? And if there was an artificial intelligence, an actual like a general artificial general intelligence, and that entity, that thing, was given the task of maximizing efficiency and sort of setting up systems for the greatest number of people, would it immediate like I just chat GPT'd, what is the net worth of Elon Musk? You have any idea? Take a shot in the dark.
Oh, okay. Net worth of Elon Musk. Three trillion seems insane.
He is, according to Forbes, has crossed the 500 billion mark, not 3 trillion.
Oh, okay. So yeah, 3 trillion would be insane.
Insane.
Okay, so he's
500
half a
billion.
trillion.
How many
Dang,
people
he's got
exist?
$500 billion.
Yeah. So,
So there's no
um,
trillionaires.
no, he's
That's
the
not a
richest
thing,
man on earth.
huh? Okay, $500 billion. I don't even know what that is.
If that was, hold on, like there's 300 million,
330
330 million people in America.
in the United States. Yeah.
Yeah. And if he's got 500 billion, that's $500,000 million. I can't even do the math.
What are you trying to do?
How much money he could give to each person. 342 million. So that's $1,400 per person if he gave his $500 billion to each American.
Is how much? 1,400.
1,400, not
Yeah,
much.
that doesn't do anything.
But would an AI think that one person should have $500 billion? I don't. I doubt that. I don't know, man. It'd be an interesting world if that was a computer deciding what was best for all of us. I don't know,
Yeah.
but I don't see all the dystopian stuff. I see mostly good, except for the coders. You guys are in trouble.
Yeah, but what I've realized with all the stuff I've been trying to do lately for Crave is, so I don't know anything about code. Like really, I mean, my knowledge of code is so extremely limited. I mean, so tiny. What I've realized is that even though ChatGPT or even Claude, which is really good at coding, that because I don't know anything about coding, I'm still limited on how much they can help me. If I knew a ton about coding, if I really understood the way that it worked, oh my gosh, they would help me so much. So I've been finding
Mm.
myself like wishing, like, man, I wish I knew somebody who was just brilliant at coding that could take this, that could do this for me. Not where they would have to write the code, but they could get Chat or Claude to write it for us, but they would know what they're trying to do and know what they're looking at and understand. So I definitely think yes, there are going to be a lot of people, a lot of just basic general coders who are out of jobs for basic stuff. But the big picture stuff, there's still going to be a need for people who understand how all that works, who understand the way it fits together and the foundational pieces of what that is. Um, because they're going to be super valuable, maybe even more valuable than they are now.
Maybe, but the bulk of people are going to be out of work
I think you're right.
because that one smart guy, that one very knowledgeable guy, can write all the code through an AI and be
Well,
done with it in a day, and then it's something that would take months previously from a team of people, right?
Well, but what I'm saying is I don't need him to write the code and then be done with it. What I need, there's going to be people like me who have businesses, want to develop a service, want to develop an app, want to develop some kind of functionality or website. They're going to need someone like, hey, I want to do this. I don't have 6 months to wait for you to write all the code and do all the stuff. And they'll be like, no, I can do this in like a week because Chat's going to write all the code for me. I just know how to put it all together. So those people are going to, and we're going to need thousands of those people because they're
Yeah,
going to be helping businesses and apps. And does that make, you know what I'm saying?
it does make sense. I guess the part if I have a disagreement, because I don't know anything about code either, I would just assume that the rate of machine learning is super high, and that even though at this moment that we still need to have human intervention to make those things work right, that it's not going to be that much longer.
Yeah,
I
you're
mean,
probably right.
it's like the time the conversation's over, it's changed.
Yeah,
Like
that's I see what you're saying. That's true.
yeah, and it yeah,
Because I
but
even
it
found
is
myself
fascinating.
and I think you're right because I found myself thinking at the same time. I was like, well, if I just wait a couple of months, it'll figure it out for me. Like it'll
Yeah,
be so advanced in a couple of months that this won't be an issue for me anymore. So, which is what you're saying.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's true. Oh
All right,
man.
man. That's I didn't I For all of those people who might listen, I had asked uh, a woman, Eliana Rodriguez, to join us tonight, and it is actually her birthday today. So if you're a friend of hers, tell her happy birthday. But she had other plans, damn it, and we'll have to wait to get her on for hopefully next week.
Yeah.
And I didn't come prepared with that many topics.
Oh man, I was going to ask you. So there's a lady that came in and flew at the tunnel yesterday, and then she came back today. Shoot, what is her name? Oh man, super nice lady. So nice, like just so pleasant to talk to. And she is a STEM educator for iFly,
Hmm.
and she works at the King of Prussia tunnel.
Well, okay.
And she she told me, well, I think she has. Oh shoot, she told me how many jumps she has. She has like over 20,000. I can't remember how many it is,
Hmm.
but she told me that she is for females. She's one of the like top 5 most jumps for females, I think. And then she said her late husband, so he passed away a few years ago. She said that he had the world record for the most skydives of anyone ever, and that he had like 59,355 or something like that. Shoot, what was his name? man, I was intentionally going to remember her name so I could ask you if you'd ever heard of her or met her or known her. And then I thought, man, maybe we should have her on the show. Like she was just such a nice, pleasant lady. Um, just fun to talk to, easy to talk to. Uh, so maybe I can get her name and number because she lives in Pennsylvania, and maybe we can have her on the show.
Well, I have a couple of friends that Brian and Cheryl Benner who fly in that tunnel, King of Prussia, and
Okay,
this ChatGPT says that the world record for the most lifetime skydives by an individual is held by Don Kellner, who completed 46,355 jumps.
that's him.
Yeah.
That's her husband. Well,
Okay.
late. He's not alive anymore. I don't think. Right? Isn't that what it says?
I didn't ask that.
Okay. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. That's him.
hmm.
Does that sound right to you? Do you know anybody who has more than that? Have you ever heard of anybody that had more?
uh, no. Um, Pete Allen is
Yeah,
approaching
Pete's at
40,000.
he's at
Um,
39 something.
yeah. There was a Russian guy that we worked with in Dubai, Yevgeny Gruzdiev, who uh, I believe, when we started there 10 years ago, well, more than 10 years ago, we 16 years ago, um,
Almost 20.
Yevgeny had around what he said 30,000 skydives. When we left 10 years later, 5 years later, and now so 16 years ago, I saw him last year. He said 30,000. But in that same time period, uh, that I've made almost 16,000 jumps or more, he said the same number.
Wait,
So
what? I didn't follow. Say it
he
again.
jumps a ton. He's younger, a little bit younger than me, not much. He jumps a ton, and he didn't adjust his number in 15 years. He just kept saying 30,000.
Oh.
So in the time that it took me to go from 10 to 26, he said 30 and 30. So
Oh.
all I'm saying is that
He's
there's people
probably
out
got
there that maybe. I
he
mean, I don't
could
know
have
exactly what his number is, but he jumped not as much as me, but a lot.
but he could have 40 or 45, you're saying
For sure.
potentially.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, wow.
There's just people who don't care about
Tracking.
tracking,
Yeah.
setting a record.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would
Okay.
say Pete. I don't know how much older than me Pete is. Maybe 10 years, but he's still got some
Well, you're
life
like
left ahead of
80,
him.
aren't you?
Yeah, something like that. If my body would quit breaking, I would just keep chugging numbers up. But man,
Dude, man, don't I know it?
need some medical technology to catch up with me.
I've been feeling good, for the past few weeks, and then all of a sudden today, I
Mm,
was at the tunnel, and Taylor, one of the other instructors, he's like, "What's wrong, dude?" I was like, "I don't know, dude. My shoulder, just like it's been feeling good for the past few weeks, and then all of a sudden today, I was like, what's going on with my shoulder, man? Like just out of nowhere, you know? Did you get that?
yeah, I do.
Yeah,
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 it's gonna catch us though. Eventually, if we can live long enough, our bodies are gonna go back to being like 20.
yeah. We're just gonna
I believe it.
shoot up some kind of special serum, and there you
Yep,
go,
it's
18
called
years old
stem
again.
cells, but it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Hey, everybody, if you're still listening with us, if you want to be a part of the beta test
Mm,
for this new functionality, the flight labs, the deep dives, and quick reviews, getting your videos reviewed, reach out to me. You can email me, chris@cravetofly.com. You can message me. Um, you can try to message me on Instagram or Facebook. I might or might not see it. The best way to do it is email me. And that way I'll know that you're interested in being a tester, and we'll get you set up. We'll get you part of the program. Otherwise, we're going to have it going pretty soon. I'm super excited about it. I think it's going to be very, very cool. Yeah.
excellent.
JRuss, skydiving announcements or news or events, anything that you want to say?
I mean, the next thing that we're doing is just the Sebastian invasion over the new year.
Hmm.
That's we're organizing for that. Otherwise, Steph and I are packing it up here, heading to Colorado for a tunnel camp, and then mostly out in Arizona for the rest of the season. But that's all military work. I'm not doing any events other than the invasion right now.
Okay.
But just looking forward to not Africa hot in Arizona. That'll be nice. for some reason, Steph and I both, we just talked about it the other day that we both actually, that, so I'm in the trailer. It's got a Chicago. It's a 2-bedroom construction trailer. It's huge. It's got pop outs, like for 2 people. I mean, it's not a mansion, but it's a lot of space. But both of us like the bus better, even though it's smaller. I think just
Hmm.
because we constructed it and it's sort of a project of ours, and I'm looking forward to being back there.
It just feels more like home, or what do you mean?
I don't know exactly.
Hmm.
Because it's definitely, it's like it's more work. We got to pay attention to solar, and there's always little projects to do. But it just we just both like it better.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, that's
I don't
cool.
I
That's
don't
really
know.
cool. It's
And
yours.
yeah, totally. And I'm looking forward to the people on the podcast. Bean is much more shy than
Mm-hmm.
CH was, and so she's nibbling on my finger right now. But for some reason, getting up, like as soon as I turn that camera off, she's gonna start running laps around my shoulders, up one arm, down the other, and biting my ears. And but
Maybe
I'm
it's
looking.
maybe it's the light. Maybe she doesn't like the light.
Well, I mean, birds. These birds, like CH and she, also they can't see very well in the dark. So
Mm,
this is the only lighted spot in the trailer right now. So she is hovering around me, but that's totally normal. She hovers around
gotcha.
me all the time.
Yeah.
But like when when yeah, when the podcast isn't going, or when like she's her thing is landing on my glasses and picking my eyebrows.
Yeah.
Although I will say, last night she picked my nose. It was hilarious. Um, but yeah, right now she's not really landing on me. So, but this is our nighttime routine. Like when I want her to settle in so I can go to bed, I turn the lights down more and more and more, and then she gets up on where she is right now on a little tree branch that I've got right here above the computer, um, and kind of like hunkers down and spreads her feathers out. And I know, okay, good, she understands it's time to go to bed, and then I can turn all the lights off and go to sleep. Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, one of these days she'll be more social.
I've been uh I've been wearing my chicken hawk t-shirt,
Yeah,
and every time I wear it, I get some kind of positive comment from people.
nice.
Like just random people. They
Yeah.
something about the sparrow with the chicken hawk, like they love it. And my response usually is, "Yeah, I got the body of a sparrow, but the heart of a chicken hawk." And then they're like, "Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah." That's my like go-to line. Body of a
Uh,
sparrow, heart of a chicken hawk.
that's great.
And they
Yeah,
like
I
it. Have you been wearing your shirt?
all the time. It's one of my
Really?
favorites. Yeah, yeah,
Really? That's
yeah.
awesome.
Steph too.
You're not
Like,
just telling me that, you really wear it?
oh god, it's one of my favorites.
Great. That's
Yeah,
good.
like I'm gonna wear it out.
Very good.
Yeah, Steph and I were talking about it the other day. I don't know how it came up, but
Yeah.
there's chicken hawk stuff that Steph got me, and then but I think you're the only friend that got me something related to the bird.
Hmm.
Steph's got me a ton of stuff, but
Yeah.
and obviously Steph's a friend, but in a different role. Um, but yeah, no, we both wear it all the time.
Very cool. That's
Yeah.
great. And Tanya, like actually, so I ordered the shirts. I ordered there's this website, Ninja Transfers, really cool
Okay.
website. So you can like upload any design you want, and they'll print out the transfers and mail them to you, and then you just iron them on. So I was going to do it all myself. Well, then I had to leave to go on that camping trip with my brother. And so I just left all the t-shirts and all the transfers with Tanya. And I was like, hey, this is how I told her in like 3 minutes, like, this is what you got to do. This is what you got. So she made all those for
Hmm.
us,
No,
like
I didn't know that.
the chicken hawk shirts, and she made a bunch of Crave t-shirts for me and different, her and her mom actually. So I thought that was really nice of them to do for us.
Well, when I'm ready to order more, those will be Tanya's first. I'll be the first paying customer.
There you go. Yeah, nice. Excellent. Very cool. All right. Well, you've done it again. You have wasted another perfectly good hour listening to the Crave Show with Chris and JRuss. Right, JRuss?
Nope. I
Nope.
mean, this one is as close as you get to wasting an hour, because all we did was sit around and talk bullshit to each other,
Yeah, that's
and
true.
it's been an hour and a half. But
Yeah.
I still don't think it's a waste. I still
What's
I would
awesome,
listen to our podcast.
you know what's really cool is there are some people out there who will listen to this podcast and enjoy it just as much as you and I did. And they'll send I'll have a couple people send me messages saying how great it was, and that makes me feel so awesome. So
Cool.
cool. All right. Well, go jump out of an airplane, have fun with your friends. Um, Hey, just be careful. I know a lot, like JRuss and I were talking earlier. The season is kind of wrapping up for a lot of people. So just take care of yourself. Pay attention when you do get back around to jumping in the spring. Just think it through. Take your time. Do what you got to do. Go over your EPs, all that stuff. But just, you know, spend some time this winter. Get on Crave. Watch some of the courses. Keep current. Like do whatever you got to do to keep your mind ready to go, so that when spring rolls around, you're good and safe and current. I don't know, JRS. What do we
And
need
I
to say?
couldn't agree with that more. I think that, as always, I think visualization is a powerful part of the way that we learn. And so, if in your off season you can use some of that time, I think Crave is a great way. I think getting in the tunnel is a great way
Mm,
to kind of keep your skills sharp. Go to safety day when it happens in the spring. Um, Review your emergency procedures. Think about plane procedures, and visualizing all that stuff repeatedly over the winter can help keep you a little bit sharper than just sort of disconnecting from those ideas and then getting right back into it in the spring and thinking you're going to pick up right where you left off because you're not.
yeah, yeah, very good. All right. Well, thank you guys. Thanks for listening. And Crave, do more, be better.
Thanks,
See you,
everybody.
JRS.
See ya.